All right, all right, all right. Let me see. Uh, I always love to hear my own self talk. It's never gets weird. It's always weird. It's really, really weird. Categorically strange. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. It is Thursday of the third week of the month of September. It's September 17th. 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and as promised, we are on. Hi, Cassietta. Um, Crystal, alter ego, Cassius Patton. I love that you got all that in the first name, especially because it's an alter ego thing. That's kind of dope. Letitia, hello there. Toby, good afternoon. Keely, hi. How are you? How are you? Good afternoon. Sweetheart, as in, I'm assuming Bonita. When did you change that back to sweetheart? And all right, never mind. Anyway, Michelle Charlebois, how are you, darling? Karen Wheeler, Erica Crawford. All right, I see the names. I see people showing up, showing in, doing the damn thing. Okay. Now, why does that look different from that? I never understand why this shows up twice in my feed. Oh. I just learned something really important. So it says is live. If you click on it, it actually goes to the. This is very interesting. Anywho, I'm learning something, y'all. Forgive me. I'm looking just to make sure everybody's on and everybody can actually hear us. All right, folks. So we are here to answer psychic and mediumship questions this afternoon. It is Thursday afternoon, headed into what looks to be a very nice weather-wise weekend. I'm pretty excited about that. And of course, the fall solstice is the next thing that is upon us. Get ready, folks. We are moving into some of the most important energy in our lifetimes, and I mean that sincerely. So, we are back. Rob, the Psychic Sentinel, is with me, and he is going to talk to you all a little bit about his journey into intuition. I'm sure many of you saw the intuition series where I talked with several people about how you got here. What is it that intuition means to you? Um, and more importantly, how it's changed your life. I haven't met anybody yet who tapped fully into their intuition where it didn't shapeshift them somehow, whether it's parenting, their business, their love life. For most people, it's all of the above when they really integrate it. So, talk to us a little bit about, and by the way, folks, yes, we will get to questions. If you want to start posting them now, that is perfectly fine. But in the meantime, we're going to listen to Rob a little bit talk about his journey, and then we'll get to the questions. All right, folks?
Okay. So when I started this journey, it's been about what, 2 years, Asaki? About
Yeah,
2 years.
I think so. Yep.
I was neck deep in corporate America and thought to myself, I had my career progression planned, my whole path planned out, and I felt this jingling in my spirit. Um, I saw Saki online one day and just knew instantly that I need to connect with her. And so I did. And I entered, I think, into her weekend intensive. You had an intensive going that weekend. I think that's what we got it. And straight into the development. Now, in doing so, I had to face some hard truths in embracing my intuition and understanding that being in corporate America was not necessarily what my life's work is all about, what my soul's mission is. And so the more time I spent really on this journey, it really became very clear that that was not the place that I needed to spend the rest of my life. And so I would say about February, yeah, February this year, I moved out of corporate America and into the practitioner space as a spiritual practitioner, as a medium, as a psychic, and all that that entails. And that is what I do full time now. That's my life's work, and I could not be happier. Now, I'm not going to say that the transition wasn't shocking, wasn't a little bit scary. I did kick and scream and fuss and fight with my spirit guides and with my ancestors and everybody who would listen, and God included, about
Mhm.
it. But it became very clear to me, the more I stopped fighting that this is where I was supposed to be. This is where I am supposed to be doing my life's work. And I think it really clicked when I think we had two clients that we did. It was, yeah, two clients back to back on Mediumship when I first started.
Yeah.
That it was like, okay, hey, wow, yeah, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about hearing from, the passed on loved ones. It's about the healing aspects that go into those sessions. And that's really
Hmm.
where the work is done.
Yeah.
And embracing that, both being a male in this space, and operating with this level of gift, can be a blessing and a curse. But ultimately, it pushes us to be present. This really has pushed me to be present in my body here on earth. And when I think about what's going on today, it's easy for practitioners and spiritual folks to want to operate in the ether, but here that is just not reality. If anything, what's going on has taught us that we have to be present here in our bodies and accountable to each other. And so that's really where I am now. That's really my message moving forward to people, is to be present, operate from a space of love, and be accountable to each other for how you treat each other, because that's really what matters the most.
Mm.
And loving this planet that we're on, because it is absolutely essential that we do so. If we've not seen any evidence of that, look what happened to us earlier this year and what's still happening now. So it's very much so that we are all here, and that we move in love and shift in love. Because there's a shift coming, it's already happening. Either you're on board or you're not. The key to it is to shift in love and acceptance of
Yeah.
each other and our differences. And so that's it.
You said a couple of things that of course stand out to me. Number one, about your own journey, and I have been saying consistently all year long, you got a trial by fire. That's what my old mentors would call it. When
Mhm.
somebody gets snatched fast, and it's like being at the water park and you go up to the big slide, I mean the really big slide, and you've climbed all the stairs and you're on the line and you finally get to the front, and then somebody just shoves you down. You're like, whoa, what? You grabbing things like, wait a damn minute, hold on.
Mhm.
That is really how you were pushed into the spiritual. And what I'm really meaning when I say that, if I compare our journeys, what has happened to you literally in a year happened to me in about 9. So I had a 9-year span to process what's happened
Mhm.
to you in really about 9 months, honestly,
Mhm.
because it's September, right? So
Mhm.
I am so keenly aware of that this ain't for the faint of heart, especially when it goes fast. It also is a testimony in me witnessing it and you coming through it and getting such clarity so very quickly on things that it took me forever to struggle, because that was part of my journey. It tells me that the facilitation really does speed up the process,
Mhm.
because you've been able to shift from, and we're not talking regular corporate, like you had a job at McDonald's and you were flipping burgers. No insult to the people at McDonald's at
No.
all. Everybody's hustling for their money. But you had a big corporate job.
Mhm. Yes. I was
I
managing a group of people, 30 plus people.
mhm,
And I was happy, so I thought, doing just that.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then I realized that the more I spent in the spiritual space, the more I realized that no longer resonated with me.
yep,
And it was, you know, time for me
yeah.
to move on and move out of that. And I would not have done so without a push to do so. I just wouldn't have.
There's so many of us who are afraid of, and I mention this right now because it's so relevant to what's happening on the planet. A lot of us are going to find ourselves moving out of the typical notion of what corporate America is, whether that means you get downsized, maybe your job goes from part-time to full-time, or excuse me, the other way, full-time to part-time,
Hmm.
like maybe it shrinks somewhat, to maybe you now work from home. This is going to happen to a lot of people in the next 3 to 4 months. And I keep going back to this factor. We talked about this in the last moon ceremony, in the full moon ceremony, at the beginning of the month, and it's coming up again because really your story is a testimony to it. Number one, our value is not in the job that we do in corporate America. That's going to be a huge lesson for a lot of Americans in particular this year. Number one, because COVID, and there's going to be layoffs. There already have been, and there will likely be more because that's just kind of how this engine works. And that's okay if we have the understanding that that's not our value. The job does not make or break who we are. We are, our souls are a complete, total separate entity from this nonsense that we do at whatever job that we do. And we have allowed that in many ways to become our calling card, whatever it is that we do for a living in corporate America. And you are such a testimony to shifting and allowing the shift to happen to you, and allowing that, surrendering to that process and really allowing spirit in. I'll be frank, in my own process, there was a lot more kicking and screaming.
Oh yeah, I've
There
definitely
was.
was kicking and screaming now. There are still some moments where I kick and scream,
Right.
but in the grand scheme of things, I've been spirit has taken care of me completely. I do not have energetically. I'm not in the same space
Right.
as I was when I had that job. I was
Right.
miserable. I
Yeah.
was miserable.
Yeah.
I remember having a very high level of anxiety
Sure.
every single day, every single time my phone rang, because it was like, what now? What's going on now?
Oof. I remember that syndrome from my own days in corporate. It's like, oh God, here they come. Or, oh
Mhm,
God, what's wrong now? Or what's
mhm,
next? And it's like,
mhm.
we don't recognize, and I say this to a lot of people, we don't recognize until we're out of it how toxic it was. It's no different from being in a combative relationship, or being in a violent relationship, or being in a violent home. A lot of
Yes.
the time we are so used to toxic behavior or things that are really in discord with who we are, just out of alignment. We can't see it because we're standing in the middle of it. So
Mhm,
we're busy going, yes, but this is what we do. You know what I mean? This is what we're used to. So what
mhm.
we're used to, very, very often we find ourselves defending even when it doesn't make sense. And right now I'm finding so many people behind the scenes, who are calling me all the time because they're panicked, because something is changing at their job, or they've already been warned about the layoffs, because lots of people already have notifications, okay, this might end in November or December. So this is happening to a lot of people, and they're calling with the panic. What am I going to do next? Because of course I'm psychic first, so naturally that's how the question comes out. But really the answer is an opportunity, and the
Mhm.
opportunity is, what does my soul really desire? You can fight with yourself all you want and go right back to corporate America and find yourself a new job. But if that's not where you're supposed to be, then it may be time to consider, this might be the moment. Um, Oprah would call it, the door. I think she used to call it the door. Those little whispers that you start to hear of this,
Mhm.
something else is happening here. Your soul is calling for something else. And a lot of the time we ignore that because typical society does not say that that's the answer. That's the call we're supposed to answer. Instead, it tells us,
Mm-mm.
no, you should go back to get your regular job, right? There's no way that God ever intended for us to be if you're in Atlanta, in traffic for 45 minutes to an hour, at a job for 8 hours or nine, depending on whether the lunch hour is caught into that. It's cute how we all morphed into doing that, where you get a lunch hour, but it's not in the 40 hours. So yeah, that all of that happened over, and
Mhm.
people probably don't know that as much down here, but all of that happened over the last 20, 30 years, where those expansions, those creeping into our time, became the norm. There's nothing normal about it. For a person with children and a family, God never intended for us to see each other about 45 minutes to an hour a day. Just the opposite. Everything was supposed to be centralized around family, including our calling, including how we make money. And we've gotten so far away from that. And that's okay. We're learning right now. We're all reversing course, right? Whether some of us are being forced to reverse course, and some of us are just seeing it like you did and said, I think this is the transition place. I think something else is occurring. So I just commend you, because for a lot of people, they would have resisted this and resisted it and resisted it and resisted it. And, as that time goes on, the more you resist it, we all know, the harder it gets,
Mhm.
because the universe is going to move you where you need to be, whether you are really in concert with that or not. And so many of us right now are defining ourselves based on what happens or what we see around us, or more importantly, how we show up at these corporate jobs. And
Hmm.
I can't stress enough to everybody here, not the corporate job is not the definition of you, ladies and gentlemen. You are a child of God. You are an infinite being connected to source. That's all you ever had to know. Everything else is just fodder, folks. We have been duped. We have been had, and it's okay. We actively participated in it, but um
Hmm.
it's time. Part of what's being called to us right now is to walk ourselves back out of that and go, all right, what's the bigger picture here? Surely we all know that humanity is crying out for us. We're at 33 people right now. Humanity's crying for us to make a different choice. And this is part of it.
Hmm.
Not to suggest that everybody's going to leave corporate America. No, some of you are going to stay. Hell, some of you are absolute necessity. Um, but even your corporate jobs are going to start looking different. They're
Hmm.
going to be more filled with love, more filled with concern for the community, the environment, the people around you. We've been waiting a long time for this moment. So, our job now is to not be so resistant to it and allow the universe to shift, because it's already happening. Just like when COVID sent us home and then the water got clean and the dolphins came out and the deer and all the animals are like, oh, look, we can breathe again. My point being, it's being done for us. Our only job is not to resist it in this process. All right, folks, I'm going to scroll down just a little bit, scroll up, excuse me, and look for questions. Georgina Qualls, I'm going to ask you to ask something more specific, hun. I do see your first posting up there, but go ahead and ask me something more specific, or the actual question that you want answered. And I'll say to everyone right here, since we're starting the psychic and the mediumship questions, and we'll probably interweave a little bit more of Rob's story in there. But as we start the actual psychic and mediumship questions, whatever your question is, be specific, folks. Because we are on here at no charge, no fee. You have access to experts. Utilize it and take advantage of that opportunity. When you ask general questions, what often happens is we sit here and we fish through the universe, and the first thing we find in the universe may not be the thing that you actually want to know about. So save us the energy, because it is very exhausting to do so, and save yourself the time and the wasted lack of answer, or the general answer, when we all come on here for one reason, right? We want to know something. We want to know something specific. This is sacred space when you're here. So ask away, folks. Ask away. Good morning, Robin Keck, Marsha, Sharnik. Hello, Samantha Taylor. How are you? Brian James, good to see you. Good to see you. Just catching up on names and who's logged in and signed in. Michelle Paynato. Hello, love. Family is here. Nikki, Naquan. Hello, darling. Hello, hello, hello. Bianca Lynn. Hi there. Amanda Peacock Krieger. All right. Again, I'm going to ask you the same thing, Amanda. Specific question. All right. Let me see here. Toby Clark says, I love this only because it starts with this sentence. It says, I seldom have a specific question. Going to try today. My son, will he ever be back in my life? Should I shift my thinking from eventually to a different vantage point? So what Toby's trying to figure out is, will she have contact with her son again, and does she need to shift in order to see that happen?
Yes and yes.
Okay. I think this is one we answered before. I have a feeling. I don't know if it was here or if it was
Yeah.
in one of the groups. I have a feeling it was maybe the gallery reading, but yeah, the answer is literally exact. Hi, Danielle. Answer is literally the same.
Hmm.
It is, you have to do the shift in you, hun, in order to meet him where he is. He
Hmm.
still looks at himself very much as the victim, is what I'm saying. So you just have to shift the energy into that loving, I'm here for you, I'm here for you energy. And then what happens is you shift it in the ether, and then you shift it in 3D as a result of shifting it in the ether. And I would say visualize yourself literally seeing your son and embracing him,
Hmm.
open arms, hug, that kind of stuff. See that, and you start to shift the energy. Cassietta Joyner, what should I pursue musically? Will it be fruitful or just a hobby?
Cassiata Joyner, what should you pursue? I don't know if she's thought about doing meditation music or something like that that allows
Oh,
people to, and that's with or without words. That's completely
oh,
your your choice, but definitely meditation music is where you're going to. And it's so
Okay.
much more than just a hobby. It becomes this will be a stream of income for you.
So Cassietta's in the container. She is joining us, I believe, if I remember correctly. She is joining us for 33 days for the 33-day to intuition program, which I
Okay.
can't help but me about, what was the music. I hadn't thought about a genre, but you're going meditation music, and I'm thinking, well, I'll be damned, that fits right in with the journey that she's about to be on. So
Hmm.
I mean, it fits perfectly, but it just didn't occur to me, and I hadn't gone fishing for that and to look for that information. So interesting stuff, Cassietta.
Does she
Apparently,
sing? Does she sing?
will you answer that question for us,
Because
Cassietta? Do
there
you
is,
sing,
I'm
love?
hearing like spoken word to music and singing
Nice.
in there.
Nice. Beautiful. So it looks like spiritual music is
Hmm.
really where she's. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm loving this. Okay. All right. I'm just going to pick up the phone and read these. All right. Georgina Qualls would like to know, if I move forward with my partner, can I trust that I will not be cheated on like my last experiences?
Okay, so that's a very loaded question. There are actually two parts to that question. The first part is, can you move forward? The answer is yes. The second part is the cheated on part. That's an energetic thing with you. So if you set the expectation and the boundaries from the jump that that's not what you want, that experience is not what you won't have that experience. So yes, progress forward. And as long as you set that expectation, then that will not occur for you.
Okay. I heard something very, very similar. Um, Aaliyah Bengal. What do I need to understand about the dynamics with my family, particularly my sisters? It's an intelligently written question.
There seems to be that there's anger there, but none of them are sure why. It's like angry for no reason. Um, can you confirm whether or not that anger is like directed towards you or pointed at you just for no reason whatsoever? Because that's the sense of it I'm getting. It's like a us and them, like you're the thumb on the hand.
Hmm. It does feel like they keep saying me the word agitation. You're the agitator in the family. That often happens with the person who is most likely intuitive, by the way.
Hmm.
The person who does not ignore their empathic yearnings, or more importantly, their intuitive knowings, is tends to be the person in the family who makes everybody uncomfortable, because you're dealing in a truth that is beyond the truth that everybody is telling you with the masks. We all live behind masks. When we communicate daily, very often most people are not living in their truth. So for you, you're a lot closer to the surface of the real truth. So even when people talk to you, I'm seeing like you'll have reactions to something, and it's very off-putting to them, like, oh, why do you question my non-reality? Almost like these are the facts that I'm choosing to deal in whatever story they're telling, and it almost pisses them off that you keep catching on, like, no, that's not the real story, and they don't particularly care for that. Not uncommon in families, by the way. Kathy Black. Kathy wants to know, will I have love in my life, romantic or otherwise, close to me on a day-to-day basis? So she's trying to figure out, is love coming in?
I see
Kathy
yes
Black.
immediately. Yes,
Okay.
very much so.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't necessarily get a timeline, because it
Me
literally feels
neither.
like a moving target. It feels like something where it's partly you haven't decided, but it also feels like it's just a slow moving engine. And when you get there, you get there. I don't feel like you're in any massive hurry. And I also simultaneously, like, there doesn't seem like a sense of urgency to it. That's not I'm not, that's not a negative for you, by the way. For some people, it's almost an excuse not to move it forward. But for you, it just feels like you're very aligned with when it happens is when it actually comes in. Like there's an energetic alignment for you. That's what I get anyway. Jazzy. Hello, darling. Her question is greetings to both of us. What am I missing in my entrepreneurial businesses to become financially stable? What is she missing in her entrepreneurial businesses or journey?
The one word I see is plan. So, have you laid out your plan for the business in terms of operations and finances? That is going to be essential for you to write it out. Be completely clear on what you're looking for, what you expect. Write it all out. It's all about your plan.
I'm gonna add to that. It feels like you have some plans, but it feels like they're all in different places. Like one part is in a drawer and one part is in a cabinet. Not literally, but you get the idea. Like one part is in your purse, one part's in your book bag, one part is sitting on your computer, one part is actually typed on your phone. It just feels like there's pieces of it everywhere, and you haven't quite put all that together. And they're also saying to me, businesses, plural. There's an umbrella with all the spokes. You haven't fully looked at the overarching message. They're all interconnected, in other words, even if they don't look like they are on paper. They're all interconnected through you and through something that resonates. There's an overarching message, and it has to do with your purpose on this planet. And that is where those five, they're saying 5 to 8 businesses. So obviously there are a multitude of them. But that's where they all fall in line in your purpose for the planet. So it's time for you to tap into that part. What is my true purpose? Why am I really doing all of this? In other words, like what am I here for? Why am I doing this? Why am I bothering with this? Karen Wheeler, hello, darling. For a while, I've been trying to figure out what's my wow, okay. What's my life purpose or my talent? Can you give me some help with this? So Karen wants to know, why is she here? What's her purpose?
The word I'm seeing now is service. There is something you're supposed to be doing for others that comes through. There's something about what I'm seeing is you have a knack for pulling people together. Um, it almost feels like a facilitator type of role. Um,
I don't know why I keep getting something having to do with food. I'm gonna say you don't need to take this and run with it because it feels like one component of multiple layers in like a destination or a business or an overarching message. But I definitely get food and nutrition is somewhere in there as a component. Just a heads up. And it actually feels like something you feature or you showcase or you tell people about. Um, I don't have much more detail on that, but they just keep showing me what looks like eclectic and yet nutritious food at the same time. So
mhm.
it just feels like that's somewhere in there that interlinks and that's a part of your journey. So I'm going to ask everyone if you would please let people know that we are on and reading live. Please share this feed out. Let everybody know we're answering psychic questions and mediumship questions. Kathy freaking Basalo, how are you? Kathy is one of my primary Wisconsin people. And Kathy actually has a crystal bed from John of God. She's one of the very few people I've ever met who has a full crystal bed. They are not cheap at all. She is one of the most prolific Reiki healers I've ever encountered in my lifetime. Anyway, hi, Kathy. Good to see you, love. Yes, please, everyone, share this out. Let everyone know that we are on and we are reading Luke family. Good. I have to introduce you two to one another. When we're out and about in Atlanta, Rob, I'll have to introduce you to Luke. I like it when my Atlanta people show up. It makes me feel like I'm still on Earth. Um,
Mhm.
Jay Sims. So Jay Sims, any messages for me? Are you able to identify who the woman in spirit is who keeps trying to talk to me? Who is she to me? So Jay Sims wants to know who's that, tapping at the window trying to have a conversation.
I'm hearing the word aunt. It seems like this is a loved one of yours that's coming. Um, she has some concern with you, about you, and checking in on you. It feels very much like an aunt. That's what I'm hearing is aunt.
I get the
Um,
exact same word. That's the only word I get. In fact, it's just aunt over and over and over again.
mhm. Mm, checking in like they always do. She's asking you to take care of yourself. Um, not that you're not, just she wants, I guess, more time for you to spend on you.
Hmm. That too true to what's happening on the planet, folks. I'm gonna say this just broadly. I think most of us know this already, especially if you are anywhere in the arena of intuition or holistic healing of any kind. Our ancestors are here. Period. End of story. There's no more veil, folks. We are way past that point. Our ancestors are here all the time. Your grandmothers, your grandfathers, your great grandparents, the people who immigrated to this country or are still in other countries and may have passed there. They are all now reaching down, trying to communicate with each and every one of us. Be abundantly clear on that part. This is part of what makes this period in time so incredibly transformative because they're constantly trying to have conversations with us. If you don't know how to go about doing that, this would be the time to start learning. 33 days to intuition starts on September 21st, fall solstice. The container is there and waiting for you so that you can connect with your passed on loved ones. And Rob will be their student teaching, so you'll get access to the mediumship. Okay, people? Zena, this is, I'm just reading this because this is a really interesting comment. She says, I want to thank you. I asked if my marriage was over and you received a yes. That created a shift for me. I didn't like the answer, so I decided to change it. We're working on it. This is someone who understands the power of
Hmm.
manifestation. She understands she plays an active role in this process. What any one of us, whether you're on here talking to me, Rob, John Edwards, whoever else, it doesn't make a difference. What we are giving you is the current reflection of what you are manifesting on your planet. That could change 10 minutes from now. You get to decide that. Isn't that all we've ever wanted is free will, right? That's what we say we want. We want sovereignty. We want free will. What I find a lot of the times when people figure out they actually have it, they're like very agitated about it because it gives them an enormous amount of responsibility to change the narrative and have to create their own outcomes. And that usually has to do with how our minds are working. The chatter, the monkey chatter that's always often getting in the way of the things that we really want to create. Kelly Monkey, I hope I'm saying that last name, Monkey, wants to know, will I get back to teaching in a school district? So Kelly wants to know if she's going back to teaching.
Is Carly going back to teaching? Let's see. I see. Yes, you are.
It feels to me like it is either hybridy or there's more to it than you walking in a building every day. Like, I don't think it's going to be completely in the traditional sense, although I do feel like you're going to have some of that. And they're literally saying some. So somewhere it feels like there's some sort of split, or you're able to do it sometimes and other times not. Taniqua Davis. I asked both of you a question last week about getting pregnant, and you both see
I saw that earlier.
4 to 6. Okay. But I didn't know if it was days.
Yeah.
Ow! God
Yes.
damn. Well,
It's
all
just
right then. Listen,
yes, baby
sometimes the magic works.
coming.
I guess it
Yes.
was 4 to 6 days
Hey,
then,
baby.
huh? Because that was just a few days ago,
Love
wasn't
it.
it? It was like
Yes, it
4 or 6 days ago.
It
Well,
was.
all right. Okay, so let that be known. Sometimes sometimes the magic is just moving in here. So for those of
Hmm.
you who are trying to make things happen, while I'm talking about that, and I will drop the link for this in just a few, we are now tonight we are going to have our new moon ceremony. Carrie Ann Livingstone is going to be the guest host. I will be there as well. Rob will be there. Lots of the Kai Academy circle will be there, the facilitators, teachers, student teachers, and we will be talking about manifestation. And she's going to bring in some channeled messages. And just the same way this energy is high vibrating, that is a private circle online. So from the convenience of your own home, you don't have to go anywhere. It is free to all who want to attend. And if you're on my email list already, then you're automatically going to get an invitation tonight because we wanted to open it up to everyone. We're in changing times, folks. So the more of you that are attending these events, the higher the vibration. Get it? All right. All right. Jennifer Fufu Wright, and I think I skipped one, so I'm going to go back to it in a second. Jennifer Fufu Wright wants to know: do you see the man I'm supposed to marry finding me soon? Emphasis on the soon, she says. I get it, girl. I get it.
So she wants to know about love, and is it going to happen soon for her? The answer is yes. So obviously, you are very focused on this, which is a very good thing.
Nice. So that what he's really telling you, what Rob's really saying to you there is you're manifesting it, not unlike the pregnancy question and anything else that's popping up quick. P.S. folks, we're in a very fast, energetic time, meaning what you put out to the universe, you manifest a lot faster than you did, say, 10, 12, 15 years ago. The energy all around us is moving significantly faster. And frankly, the veil is gone. So our ancestors, our passed on loved ones are here and responding to us much faster in helping us create the lives that we really want. Why does that matter? Because you want to harness all the energy around you feasible to create the life that you're really looking for you, for your family, for your community, for your children. There's so much possibility in the air, as we like to say. Bianca Lynn wants to know: will I start my jewelry business?
I'm seeing a no on the jewelry business, but there does seem to be something else that you will.
Okay.
But I'm not getting a clear picture on what that is at this moment, so maybe you have not decided on that piece of it, but the jewelry business is a no.
Okay.
But something even better she will do.
Yeah, and it feels almost like a discovery process to getting
Hmm.
to the thing. It feels like a few months from now, you will actually have a much clearer picture on what it is you're moving into. And it does feel like it is, I want to say soft feminine, kind of divine feminine, maybe holistic or spiritual, but whatever it is, it has a slant towards your power, towards, this is really how I want to present myself to the world.
Hmm.
And it feels like a product and talking. So there's multiple layers to it, whatever it is. Natasha Lynette Younger wants to know: will I get pregnant soon? She wants to know if she's having babies. We're kind of on a streak here with the babies, Natasha. So hang on. Hang on. Yes,
I'm seeing a
I'm on
yeah.
live. Come in.
I'm seeing a
Welcome
yes
to
and
my
a
house.
no on that, which means if that is what you desire, then I need for you to get a stronger intention behind it. Because I'm seeing both a yes and a no, so that all depends upon you. But the energy is there for you to get pregnant if that's what you desire.
Okay. 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 Michelle Charlebois says COVID was a way for me to start over and get out of the most toxic work relationship. Here's
Yes,
the thing:
indeed.
COVID's going to help a lot of people get out of the toxic work relationship that they hated in the first place, that they really don't want to be a part of anymore. Are we on? Why do I feel like I'm frozen? Can you hear me, Rob?
Yeah,
Hold,
I can hear
please.
you. It
Wait,
does
wait.
freeze. It does. Yeah, it does freeze
Okay,
up a little
I
bit,
see
but
me clear now. Yeah, it something happened there. It buffered. Maybe that's because I'm talking too much about humanity. So I'm going to repeat my sentence then. COVID is going to help a lot of us move out of corporate America, out of the toxic job that we're in, and into our true purpose. There's the gift from COVID. If there is a gift to be given from COVID, what it is it's going to wake a lot of us up to: I hated this place anyway, and I never want to see these people again. This is a dark environment. I want to go do something that fills my soul and provides me with sustenance. I'm living proof. I promise you it's possible. Very, very possible. Okay. Alexis Denise, should I try to work things out with my ex or just keep moving?
move. I see move immediately. Um, yeah, and they're being very adamant about that.
It feels to me like this is more a confirmation than anything else about, what's good, what's not good. But I also feel like you've been playing with yourself about this relationship. Like, I feel like you have stayed in this place for a very long time, kind of trying to appease or see if, like, I feel like the holding on and let me see if I can work it out has gone on forever. That's what it feels like. It has been going on in perpetuity, and that's part of the reason why the energy is go now. This is a phase of cleansing, folks. This is a phase of review, moving out of things that don't no longer serve you, that everything that is happening from September to December on an individual, a family, a community, a national, a global level, all the way through, folks. We are being asked to learn from that. And if you didn't learn anything, it's going to be time to learn it now. And the universe is not necessarily going to give us a pass on the education, folks. We're either going to get it or we're really going to go back into, okay, I'm just going to do this
Absolutely.
the hard way. So just be clear on that part. That's really why it's coming in so strong, Alexis. I hope that makes sense. Oh, Luke is my big brother, y'all. I am gonna post everything. I'm gonna post all of it in the next few minutes. I'm gonna post the 33 days to intuition. I'm also gonna post the link to our Facebook group, and I will post a link to readings for me and Rob right after we're done with the actual live stream. Salida, I hope I'm saying that right. Will my new business idea be successful?
Yes,
I heard a hard yes before I even finished the sentence. So,
that was a hell
uh,
yes. So,
yay, good for you, girl.
congratulations.
Good for you. Amanda Peacock Krieger. Will I be able to successfully develop my gifts to help other people as
Yes,
I've been helped?
yes.
Yeah, I've got a feeling you're headed also towards third eye development, sweetie.
Hmm.
Marcia Sharnick. Oh, we're moving through these questions. I like that. Anything positive happening with my son and me? Will we get back together soon? It's interesting. That's a third person asking about their relationship with their
I'm,
son.
I'm seeing a yes and a no, so there's still some work to be done around that on both sides.
Okay.
There's, hmm, I want to get clear on what that is real quick.
Hi, Danny.
Forgiveness of self is one thing that's coming in there. There has to be, you would benefit from some, I don't know if you're in Asaki's container coming up. If you aren't, it'd be an excellent time to do so. You would benefit from some healing, some
Mm,
energetic healing to shift that energy.
yeah.
Um, because it's needed for both of you. So understand that when you do it for yourself, those around you benefit from it, whether they're in close proximity to you or far, because there's no distance in spirit. So I recommend that you do that because it'll be beneficial for the both of you.
Hmm.
And really see yourself in the space of uniting with your son. Um, when we say, our thoughts shape our reality, that is absolutely true.
I like where you're going, and it's important to really kind of express this part because I don't even think to mention this all the time. What happens in the containers where I teach is intuition grows exponentially. You'll see plenty of people in this feed who you also see online, whether they're reading for you, using tarot cards, whatever it is that they're doing, all of it is intuition based. Hi, Christina. I saw Christina like 3 times and I still haven't had the chance to say hi. And thank you, Kathy Mason. We appreciate the appreciation always. Thank you. Hi, Paulette and Craven. I see you there, love. Paulette's been rocking with me for a very long time. But understand when you get into these containers, like the 33 Days to Intuition, some of you will come because you want to talk to a passed on loved one. Some of you will come because you want to grow your intuition because you want to help other people, and that's where the good stuff happens. Some of you will come because you're actually looking to stretch yourself into that self-awareness place where things start to look different, like how you manifest, what you're manifesting. We're all manifesting all day, whether that's, turns to shit manifest or whether it's, this is really the life I want, is entirely up to you. And a lot of the time, what happens for folks in the intuition container is they get the opportunity to go, oh, okay, this is just about controlling that chatter and going in and seeing what I'm currently creating and then using the mind to morph it to what it, just like, who was it that just said the marriage, and I didn't like the answer, but it was a wake up call. And she shifted it herself, and now they're working on the marriage. You get it?
Mhm.
There's always opportunity to shift it and change it based on what all the psychic is a mirror of what you're currently manifesting. So when you come into the container and learn how to be the psychic, even for yourself, all you're being is the mirror to, oh, that's what I'm creating on the planet. Now let's create something else. Because if that's not the thing you want, then shift it. That's it. That's it. These containers do many things for many people. What everybody leaves with is surely a whole lot more ability to tap into self and to hear the voice clearly and to feel and sense all around them and really know what those messages are. That's the most important thing that I can offer you. But what a lot of people leave with is better parenting and better money skill
Mhm.
and certainly more intuition on their business. I know for me, intuition has served me exponentially in my business because I kind of know who's supposed to be with me before we even start the conversation. It does make my job easier anyway. Deja Washington. This is okay. Hello. She says, I'm 19 and I'm homeless. And I lost my car a few weeks ago. The question is, when will I find a stable living? When will I find a stable living place and get a new car? Oh, honey.
Stable living. Let's take the first part of that question. I'm seeing the number two, so that could actually be 2 weeks or 2 months for you on the stable living. In terms of the new car, it seems like that's like a June or July time frame when that pops in. I want you to really get clear on prioritizing your life in terms of
Bit off.
what you want to do, um, how you want to live, and go from there. There's a lot of chaos around you, and then the energy. It's a little distracting. Um, but yeah, that too could be 2 weeks or 2 months. It feels more like months, but that just means that you can bring that in sooner for yourself. So it's a great starting point for you to get the clarity on what it is that you want and how you want to proceed.
Deborah Jeanette Coleman wants to know, oh, okay. Can you tell me if I got approved for my disability?
Yes.
Okay, they're going. She says I've done all the tests, and I actually get yes right away too. Just waiting on an answer. Okay, so the answer is yes, my dear. Sounds like the approval's coming. They're saying you're going to get it in the mail. I feel like it's coming. There may be a slight delay because I think maybe just everything all governmental is delayed. It just feels like it's in a big system that's moving really slowly, but you're going to get it. Um, Jody, Jody Romero. I asked if my daughter and myself would move after she graduates college on the last call and was told yes and yes. Do you see a certain time frame or location for my daughter and myself? Huh.
Hmm. I don't know if Iowa is an option or not, but I do see Iowa. Not sure about who would end up there or why, rather. Time frame. The numbers 6 and 8 come in, so that could be 6 to 8 months or 6 to 8 weeks. I'm imagining 6 to 8 months is probably what that's shaping out to be. You can be very clear and step in on where you want to go to even
Mhm.
help that energy along, um, and ask for clarity because I saw Iowa, but that's really faint. So um, that's a possibility, but you both have complete control over it. So get clear about where it is you want to go.
Georgia Qualls, Georgina, excuse me, Georgina Qualls. My partner says I can trust that he will not cheat on me. Oh, we did I think we did this question in another variation, but I'm going to keep reading it. I just want to know if that is true for the rest of our future together. So, partner says not going to cheat. She wants to know, is that a fact?
Will her partner cheat? Wow, see, things like this, these types of questions are, they're open to interpretation. I see a no on the partner cheating. That's where he is resonating now energetically. You need to get clear on where you are resonating energetically because your energy can throw that off. So with
because you
that,
expect it.
yeah, so you need to
Flat out.
change
You
how
expect
we're
it. You're
thinking.
going in expecting him to cheat again. And I hear he's got great intentions, but I want to be clear. Everything is an energetic exchange, not to suggest that we're blaming you for it, but I literally hear the words, she's going to expect it over and over and over again. And in part, you expect it, and therefore the universe is meeting you right where you are. If that's what you
Mhm,
expect to have happen, that's what's going to occur. So I hope that is really clear on how you create the world around you, because I continuously get they keep saying she expects it, and they're speaking rather loudly.
mhm.
So that's something that again is an internal shift. I hope that makes sense. Letitia Nicole, did I make the right choice moving my oldest
Yes,
daughter with her dad?
immediately. Yes.
Wow, yeah, I got the same thing. I get you need a little bit of time, just where you don't have to be all the things, which
Mhm.
I have come to understand what all the things really mean, but the mom, the wife, the this, you know what I mean? All these different stacks of jobs that you've had, you actually need a whole break, like from all of it for just a
Yeah.
second. This doesn't feel like it's going on in perpetuity, but it does feel like it's a reset that you need.
Mhm.
And it's a first of all, I get there's a little more stability over there, but not because you're not doing anything stable, but because you are in flux in general. Like now that this divorce is happening, there's other things in your life that you're looking at, and I feel like you're going to overturn all of it. You know what I mean? Like you're about to shift a bunch of things. So that's why she's not there right this second, because when she comes back, it's like all those shifts will be complete. And it's like, oh, okay. This is just what mom's doing. No big deal.
Yeah, her
Um,
folks are
go ahead.
like yelling she needs a fucking break. So they're being
She's
very
exhausted.
adamant about that. So
Hmm.
consider this the break that you need to clear out whatever it is that you need to
Yeah.
clear out and shift whatever you need to shift. It's not a bad thing at
Okay.
all.
Okay. I'm going to ask everyone to share this out again. Please and thank you. Tell everybody that we are on and answering psychic questions. And we're going to get to as many people on this list as we possibly can. Yadira Jensen. Good question. Hi. Why am I so exhausted in the last 3 days? I've been in and out of bed. I will go ahead and address this for the room because I've been hearing this consistently, not just from students and clients in my inner circle, but from a lot of new faces to me going, oh my God, I feel like I'm going to fall into the earth. What's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with you, honey. We are going through some of the most intense energetic shifts in human history. Hear me clearly on that. Human history. We have never encountered some of the things that we're encountering energetically. Ever in our lifetime. So yeah, sometimes when the energetics and we had solar flares, and we've got 7 planets now, I think, in retrograde as of right now. Yeah, because we're at the 17th. So I don't know if any of my astrologer folks are in the feed, but if you are, please know, yep, you're up, folks. This is your time to shine because we need you to know what the aspects are in general so that we know what's happening on the planet. Things are a little topsy turvy. P.S. That's not necessarily going to change in between now and December. How you respond to it. So, hear me again. Astrologically, that is not necessarily going to change. In fact, there will be more intense aspects in some coming weeks and months. Your job now, and this is why I say everything in between now and the end of the year, is about the exploration of who, what, how did I get here? What really matters to me? Why do these things spark a challenge in me or cause a reaction? What was this thing from 1982 that really hurt my feelings, that colored everything that happened after that? You get where I'm going? We are up on review for everything. And that review, it's all about the response. Melinda Santiago, what's good, sis? It is exactly that. It's about how you're responding to it. And if you find you're responding in desperation, anger, rage, even with what's happening on the news. I get it, folks. I'm human too. Believe me, I have moments where I'm like, you know what? I have had quite enough of the BS today. But it's always our job to go internal and say, why is this real? Why is this triggering me? That's the question of the hour for the rest of the year. If you do nothing else in between now and December 31st, just keep asking yourself the question. Anytime you feel agitated, jealous, envious, angry, annoyed, depressed, anxious. Why is this triggering me? Whatever it is, why is this triggering me? Because the bottom line is, no matter how we shape this, it's always going to come back to us. This is an inside job. It's an individual piece of work. Um, all right, let me get back to the questions. I'll get off the speeches, right? So to answer your question, Yadira, the reason why you're exhausted is because you're having an energetic experience. I don't say that to be flippant, but I do say it to acknowledge sometimes it knocks me out. Solar flares knock me out, y'all. When when the surge goes up, or if the Schumann resonance is up on the planet, I'm gonna need a nap. I'm like Winnie the Pooh. I don't even make apologies for it anymore. I'm a light worker. I'm a teacher. I'm a specialist. Yup, I feel the energy. It's okay, but
Hmm.
acknowledging it is the most important part. And what we're often trying to do is fight with ourselves, the matrix, and go back into whatever we know to be normal, the matrix. Hurry up and get back to the job that I hate, the matrix, instead of going, why am I triggered? And let me take a day, let me pause and just take a beat and really explore what this emotional thing is that's happening to me. Is that making sense? I hope so, folks. Salita Sherry, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Is Craig the one for me? She wants to know.
Ask that question again. I'm sorry.
No worries, no worries. It's Salita Sherry. She wants to know, is Craig the one for her?
I say yes.
I actually got a yes before I finished the sentence, so
Hmm.
we're right in tandem. Brian James says, and Brian is also local to our community, one of our healers in the community. He says, I want to start a crafting business to supplement my intuitive consulting business. All right. Should I should I focus my energy to one or
Craft.
the other?
Craft. I see craft immediately. Go with the crafting.
They're telling me you put your energy into what you craft. So here's the thing, you're doing both anyway. Does that
Hmm.
make sense? In other words, you're putting your intuitive ability into, and this happens a lot with folks who come out of my container, you're putting that intuitive ability and that energetic surge into the crafting. I actually see you with like Etsy pages and all kinds of other stuff. And this feels like real crafting. Like this is made by your hand, whatever this is. This is not like a reseller thing. You're creating something.
Hmm.
It feels like a number of somethings, but you're creating them with your own hands, with your own, with your own energy going into it. And that part matters. Yeah. Good for you, Brian. Good for you. Cassietta Joyner's answering a question from you earlier that I did not see the answer to. She sings and she writes. So she's the one that you brought the meditation music.
Hmm.
I'm so amazed that I actually got that and like remembered it. I'm really proud of myself right now. I don't know if y'all can tell. Wow. Oh, okay. I'm going to pin that comment up at the top about the 33 days to intuition. Good, good, good. All right. Well, glad to know that. All right. So we were there. We were where we needed to be. Leia Bengal. Okay, sounds like we gave her the right information as well. I saw somebody else who said thank you because we hit the nail on the head with something. It's gone. Whatever. Oh, Toby Clark says our answer was also extremely helpful. It always helps us, folks, when you hop back in the feed. Now, I know for me, a lot of the folks that I talk to online will hit me up in Messenger and go, oh my God, you told me X, Y, and Z 3 years ago. I promise you, I have no idea what they're talking about by now. However, I usually know their face or their name enough where I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I read for you way back when. Tell me what I said. And they're like, you said this, and then this has happened, and it's amazing. And da-da-da. So a lot of time people send it to me on Messenger, but I want you to know if you're back in the feed and we told you something a few months ago, i.e., we just told a woman 4 to 6 days ago, there's a baby coming 4 to 6. We couldn't see whether it was days, weeks, or month, but she just took the bing, she's pregnant. I'm just saying, sometimes really good stuff happens on here. Fun, 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 fun. Okay, let me get to newest questions and make sure that we don't skip anyone. Kimberly Day. Ah. Did my father know he had a son?
Did your father know he had a son? I see yes.
I'm unclear on when he found out, and I almost feel like it was the best way I know how to say this, Kimberly, and I hope it makes sense because I don't mean it maliciously at all. It almost feels like psychologically he went into denial.
Mm.
Like, oh, is that a thing? And then it feels like it almost like as fast as the information came in, it was like faded out of his mind. Like, that can't be real, or that can't be right. And it was almost like kind of like what we do with intuition, where we see a sign or we know something is knocking at the door trying to tell us something. We go, that's probably not real. I feel like he played with his own mind, and it's like it almost like he deleted it from reality,
Mhm.
not intentional. I don't get that malice was his intent, or even that he was in like. I feel like he was so disconnected from the fact that it was a fact that I don't even get that he was like purposely denying. It feels like it just really he blocked it like completely out of his mind. Alexis Denise, should I work things out with my ex or let him go? He just lost his mom and we have been going through it and she's stuck. What does she
Here,
do?
let's see. Does she work it out? I'm seeing a yes on working it out. Um, this Okay, so this transition that occurred in his life with his mother is the bridge that the two of you need, is the catalyst for the change in your relationship. Use that opportunity to build on that love because that's what you need to solidify it and really bridge the gap wherever they may be in your relationship.
Hmm. Okay. Alicia Dalcourt, if you will ask a more specific question, I'm sure we probably can help you, love. Tell us what you need help with and be specific, please and thanks. I'm going to ask everybody again one more time. Share this out. Let people know that we are on and answering questions. And we're going to get to everybody else in the feed. Robin Keck. When will my person, did I read this one already? When will my person show up and how will I recognize him? Oh no, I didn't read this one.
It seems like this may be 12 months from now, so like a year. And I'm hearing we tell her. So there'll be a knowing from them
Mhm.
on when you see this guy, we'll tell her. So they're going to tell you
Ooh, I like
that it's
that.
him.
I like that. Okay. All right. Give me just a moment. Let me. Quaina. You're gonna have to tell me. You're gonna have to give me the phonetics on your name, honey. Because I don't like getting people's name wrong. But I got a feeling I'm getting this one wrong. But, Miss Whitfield, I'm looking to leave my job at the beginning of 2021 to work my business full time. Am I moving in the right direction?
Yes.
I heard that before I even finished
Before you
reading it.
finished. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, so keep going, honey. I hear you may not get a choice anyway, so you're really, really lining up with your timing. Trust that. Bianca Lynn wants to know, does my grandmother Carmelita have a message for me?
Yes. And I'm seeing the word focus. Focus, focus, focus. Um, Focus less on what's happening around you and more on going within. That's really, She's also saying you're too distracted. Hmm.
I get a multitude of irons in the fire. It feels like
Hmm.
there's 50 different directions and you haven't decided on one to follow and you try to follow them all at the same time and then it becomes very frustrating, almost they're saying infuriating at times. So even though you have lots of ideas, slow down, do one for right now and just try that consistently. They're saying for 4 months, that's all it's going to take. And once you do it in one, you can do it in everything. And then you can build and build and build and build and keep building. This is about building habits for you. Interesting. Ashley Buturini, I hope that said that right. Can you tell me if my dad has been around since I found out I was pregnant?
Yes.
He was there before, honey. He's
He's
really
always
just now
been
along for
there.
the ride. Yeah, he's so happy. Like you would really think he was incarnate, sitting in a living room smoking a pipe, like, oh, the grandbaby's
Yeah.
coming. Like he's thrilled. He's really thrilled. Judy Gannam, did my mother know that her husband was not my father?
Yes.
I get denial here too.
Hmm.
Almost like if I just get these brains that are almost deleting information. Like if I just will it away, it'll just go away, and
It
that's
won't
just the
be.
life they
Yeah.
live. Yeah, like it just didn't exist. It's like what? Um, Jay Sims doesn't Jay. That doesn't always mean it's an aunt who's passed. That's important. We're the dimensions are collapsing, honey. We're way past the point of only dead people, so to speak. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Speaking to us, honey. We're going to talk to entities from everywhere. I telepathically talk with my mom pretty consistently. As a matter of fact, I'd actually prefer to talk to her telepathically only. Don't tell her I said that. She's probably watching this video, y'all. Anyway, but she and I, like, we communicate telepathically all the time. My niece and I communicate telepathically. I often find women in particular are very good at either shooting messages to one another. And I also find family is very good at that. So if your bloodline connected, it just tends to be a part of your DNA makeup. You know what I mean? To be able to communicate without always speaking. That's exactly what that means. When you're talking to each other and you're not actually saying words, you're communicating telepathically. And that comes out in a number of different ways. Salita Sherry, she wants to know, oh no, wait, I think I got a feeling we covered this in a different way, but she says, does my maternal grandmother have any messages for me?
So yes, but I'm not getting any messages. So obviously she doesn't want to tell them to me. Um,
We're
like
getting that
it's
a lot
like
more.
blank.
We
She
get that a lot
prefers
more.
to tell them to you. So I would ask you to sit in a space where you're not disturbed, really get centered, and in that space connect with her because she'll be right there with you. Every time you think of her, she's right there. Um, More often than not, actually. So do that, and you'll see.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm going to scroll up from one end and down on the other just to make sure that we get to Mercedes Epps wants to know, should I pursue herbalism and Reiki?
Both.
Yep. I get the same, and I get a lot of enthusiasm. These folk are all about the spirit and the spiritual work. So I literally hear a round of applause from the spiritual crowd behind me, like, bravo, So yeah, run with that one, honey. Run with that one.
Yeah.
Deborah Jeanette Coleman wants to know, oh no, we answered this one, if whether or not she gets approved for disability. You do.
Yes. Hmm.
And checks in the mail. That's what I hear. I don't think the literal check is actually already arriving, but something's coming in the mail fairly soon. Tasha D, no, ma'am. Can you give me a more specific question, please? And thank you, love. Please and thank you. Again, I'm just skipping down to make sure we get to folks who have not been answered yet. Janaea Flores, good to see you, love. She wants to know if she will be moving, and if so, where.
She's asking if she's moving. I
Yep.
see a no on moving.
I get for at least five, excuse me, 5 to 7 months, you're supposed to be really very, very stably present where you are. I feel like moving would create a lot of instability. In other words, if you did it in the next 6 months, they're giving me a range from 5 to 8 months. So I would say anywhere within 8 months, if you move, it feels like it creates a lot of instability. After that, it feels like you can explore it again. But I also feel like you have a lot of new information after that. Oh, I got a feeling this is also about the planet. You have a lot more information to disseminate because they're saying whether you want to go here or there. Because I feel like you have
Hmm.
a lot of ideas, but I also feel like there's going to be so many things that happen in between now and the end of the year. You're going to have a whole new boilerplate of information. Like, nope, I don't want to go to that state because those people.
Hmm.
And nope, I don't know about this state because this happens. You know what I mean? And you're going to be able to know what jives with you as a person and what you really want to, kind of get into as where you want, as far as where you want to live. Marcia Sharnek wants to know, are my gifts opening up?
Yes.
Are we breaking up? I didn't think we were breaking up. I think.
No.
Hi to the Brown family. I will pass that along, Luke. You already know. They've already been in here about 3, 4 times. It's becoming an interesting day. Usually when I live stream, nobody bothers me, but somebody's making the lunch run, so I guess I won't complain. It's nice to be in a house with all this help. Yay! Ah, Michelle Peinado with the next few events for the month of September, and I will also post a link for this, is we're gonna have a gallery reading circle. Well, tonight, first of all, there is the new moon circle. This is all about the manifestation, creating the life you want, bring in the things that you really want to see on your planet, and doing the work necessary to see those things occur. Meaning, if they aren't, then getting more aligned with that energy of what it is you're trying to create. Next, we have two more events for the month of September. There is the gallery reading cycle psychic circle, again, free to everyone, where all your questions get answered. Private circle won't be on Facebook. So again, I'll post the links to all of that when we are done. And we also have the channel circle happening with Michelle Peinano, whose comment I'm about to read. Michelle is what I call a trance channel. I liken her to the work that you see from what's her name that everybody watches, who channels the lady. I should know this, right, but I
Jamie
don't.
Butler.
No, 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 no. Much more internationally known.
Oh, like
Although Jamie's
Abraham
of the same ilk.
Hicks.
Yeah,
Abraham
Abraham
Hicks.
Hicks. Thank you.
Yeah.
I can never call Abraham Hicks when I actually need it. It's because I'm not a huge follower of it, although I love, some of the channeling that I've seen. Um, she falls more along the lines of an Abraham Hicks. So what she channels in is information for the world, for the planet. It will always reach individual spaces, but it is about the message and right now, nothing is more important than the message to all of us. She taps in on the ancestral level, on further realms. And let me be clear, she channels farther than I do sometimes. She's also got a tremendous science and math brain. I mention all this because her comment is so relevant to what's happening right now. And she says, I also think that the reason that we collectively agreed to another lockdown. So I've mentioned, if you guys are in my private circles, I've mentioned in my channels, in the psychic circles, that we all collectively agreed in somewhere between April and May, we're going back on lockdown. Like, we literally decided, because everybody kept telling us on the news, and then we're like, okay, that's what we're going to do. So we collectively decided. Again, I'm the psychic, so what I am is a reflection of what we're actually doing, where we are. I'm the mirror. So I'm telling you, as the mirror, we decided collectively somewhere around early May, mid-May, okay, we're going back into lockdown. But what we're really agreeing to is the thing that we need in order to separate from the old self. That's what we're really doing. So please know, this ain't about everybody trying to catch the cold, the flu, or the COVID. That's not what's really happening here. What we are aware of is that what we were doing before ain't really jiving with us, but we're not 100% sure about what it looks like moving forward. This is why we keep going back in the house, so that we are able to actually decide and then collectively move in that energy. Nothing has mattered more. So your comment is well received, Michelle, because it is what we're doing. We're collectively deciding to go back on lockdown so that we can collectively cleanse our planet and create the lives that we really want. That is on a society. Remember, I said this is individual, it's your community, it's your state, it's your nation, and it's the globe. We're changing the planet, folks. This is what real transition in human history looks like. Ta-da! All right. Aisha Bowman says, me and my partner are working through our human flaws that cause us to hurt the ones we love, meaning each other. LOL, not funny. He's ultimately a good guy. Just want to know if the ancestors have anything to say about him or my decision of this new journey with him. Truly believe we are meant to be. So, what she's asking really is, they're looking at their stuff. Like to hear that, by the way. Love to hear that, especially after what I just said. So they're looking at their stuff. They're trying to do the self work, but do the ancestors have something to say about this journey that she's on with him?
I'm hearing somebody say you got to give a little and get a little in terms of this relationship. So it is very much, it has a balancing act between them that has to occur. Um, you're absolutely supposed to be together because you have much to learn from each other. Um, oh, and there's one thing that just came in. Even in your lowest moments, there is growth that can be had. So
Nice.
remember that.
Nice. Beautiful. Okay. Cole Hansberry says, I'm here because of Luke Huff. Well, thank you, sir. We appreciate that. Luke blowing us up. One day, Luke and I'm going to do an event locally, and it is going to be at Luke's crib. But for those of you who know Luke, he's got the outside spot where parties happen, etc., etc. It's beautiful. He makes his own furniture. It's all magic. I'm surely planning at some point, probably after the mask come off. I don't really know. But I can't wait to do an actual in-person event at his place. I'm looking for new questions, folks. I want to make sure that we get to people who didn't get the chance. Frederick Waterhouse says, I keep seeing the number 725. What does this mean? I will say this right off the rip, even before Rob answers the actual question. I am going to post a link that'll give you some real numerology definitions, because there could be a number of reasons why it's coming up. But Rob, you go ahead and have that one.
Those are direct messages from Spirit, and Spirit is asking you. The word I see is meditate. So if you've not begun to do so, I need you to begin that immediately, because Spirit is speaking very loudly about that for you.
Oh, Billy wants to know, Rob, what are you burning? Probably
Palo
incense.
Santo.
Palo Santo. All
Yeah.
right. Folks, if you don't have, and you know what, I will also make a point of doing this. So there will be several links that you see after we're done with this little chat. I'm going to also post. I'm going to post a link to our primary product seller for Kai Academy. No, nobody from Colorado. I don't know who you people are. Stop it right now.
Not today.
Random calls while you're on a live. No, people, we're not doing it. But Luberta Prude, excuse me, our Positive Vibes Candle Company seller has a little bit of everything, including Palo Santo and sage if you need it. So I will post her link after we are done. Janelle Hayes, I'm just reading your comment. Ooh, Jen Davis, you said at the Great Awakening, that is what's happening here. That is what's literally happening to all of us. That's the big thing. That's what's happening. We are in the midst of the Great Awakening. This is the biggest time in our history to shift. This is the most profound shift that we're ever individually. I mean, I think we can all agree, and I make this as a joke, but it's fun. 2020 is going to be remembered. If 2020 does nothing else, 2020 is definitely the person, the thing, the entity that will be remembered in perpetuity. I can't help but think that hindsight is 2020 was a phrase that some future generationalist came back through history and said, child, when y'all done with 2020, you ain't never going to be the same. 2020 is definitely the hindsight we're going to need. This year
Yes.
will shapeshift us all, whether we're good, bad, or indifferent. It's always up to us to decide what that's going to look like. But man, oh man, 2020 is definitely saying, all right, now I'm here. You definitely know 2020 has arrived. I am here. Now pay attention to me. And this is a good thing, believe it or not, for most of us. It is a good thing to be able to reflect so deeply on ourselves and look at the universe giving us the time to do it. Janelle Hayes said, I recently said, I don't necessarily believe in COVID. I just enjoyed the peace it gave me. I actually said something very similar. While I'm not sure which components of this to really latch onto, what I know for sure from the spiritual side is we are being freed from what the old guard was. And none of us are in agreement with the old guard. I don't even care if you are a privileged white man who's benefited completely from this system. You don't like the fire the rest of the world's coming at you with. So the bottom line is we all want to change. No matter how we shake it, we all want it to shift into something else. Now, what the something else is where this collective consciousness comes in. Oh, that's a big responsibility, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry, we'll get there. We will get there. All right, all right, all right, all right. Tara Lee Morrison says she's feeling lost and lazy these days. What's my future path?
In terms of, okay, so that's really a very broad question. I'm
It
gonna need
is.
you to restate that. Like, are you looking at what's your future path in love, career? There's, I mean, spirit. It's open, so I need more of a direct question than that one.
Okay, Alicia Woods Bonner, we know who that is. Says Leo, her husband,
Hmm.
wants to know, is this his year for music stardom?
There's an opening here in 2020, but it really jumps off in 2021 for
I got
Leo.
exactly the same thing. Not only that, I got the exact same thing and I got it twice because I saw your question like
Hmm.
way back, but it was like I jumped ahead because, of course, when I know people, my eyes automatically dart to it. But you were like weren't anywhere near being in line for it. But I immediately heard even then, yeah, 2021 is his year. This is the year for the foundation. So the things that are already happening, even the stuff you've mentioned to me behind the scenes, those are all the seedlings that are landing. So that the trunk of the tree is grown, and then there's a huge foundation for everything else. But yeah, I feel like next year is really the year, but this year is critical in order to make next year happen.
Hmm.
So what's happening now is actually more important than the big, getting out there and being seen. But up. Hang on. Hello. CLLS. Oh, CL. By the way, two videos that I did, long videos, over an hour. I wore your earrings on purpose to make sure that you had something to capture so we can take pictures out of that. Um, she says, I've set up a contract of not making money from the creative pursuits I'm gifted with. What do I need to let go of to undo this contract? Oh,
So okay. Whew, this is heavy, but it's a good thing here. What you need to do is release the there's an issue with you in terms of money and the worthiness behind creativity and receptivity of receiving money for that. I need you to release that let that go, because your gift makes way for you, which means it makes way for you to be financially supported from it once you move into the space of believing that it is okay to receive from your creative gifts. Once you do that, you will see a complete shift in momentum and in the speed in which you're seeing the money flow in from your creative ventures.
okay. Cole Hansberry wants to know. He is asking you, Rob, am I right to believe eventually Keith will come back, or am I obsessing over a dream? I love the way he words that question.
So I see dream, but I will tell you why that is, because there's someone better coming for you. Um, Energetically, you're not in the same space that you were when the two of you were together or around each other. I'm seeing circling like bees, so it's kind of funny. Um, but you're not in that same space, and energetically, you will not be a match anymore. So release that, because spirit is pushing you to bigger and better. And June is what I'm seeing, so it's quite possible for you by the June timeframe, you are meeting a new person in your life.
Beautiful. Okay. Christy Marie, what does spirit say about the relationship between me and my daughter's father? At the moment we are on a break, do you see us getting back together? Do you see if we're getting back together? So what she's really trying to figure out, is she getting back together with her daughter's father?
Her daughter, with her daughter's father. I'm seeing a yes and a no on this, which means there's a part of you that does not want to, but there's a part of you that does. So you need to get clear on what you want to do moving forward. Because spirit is saying, "Hey, the 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 choice is yours, really." But there is a yes and there is a no there. So decide what you want.
Hmm. I will say, and these look like very new names to me. The order that you see these questions in the feed is not necessarily the order that we see them.
Hmm.
And furthermore, I'm going to remind everyone, and I know people are used to just hopping on. There's lots of tarot readers out there and yada yada. I get it. I am a master psychic, folks. I've been doing this for decades. I teach other people how to do this, including who you're watching, and answer most of these questions. I come at about $700 an hour. Rob is expensive. Okay, we are at expert level here. So please know the opportunity to even be in the energy is a phenomenal one. Trust me. Some people will tell you, I just come here to sit in the energy and then I hop out and, get my attunement for the day. I'm not mad. It's fantastic energy. But just know there's no guarantee that we're going to answer every single question. So try not to take offense. We offer an awful lot of opportunities for you to hop on in free events and all kinds of circles, especially this month, to get your questions answered. So if it doesn't happen here, then participate in the other things that we're putting out there, and you will likely get your question answered. Okay. Jennifer Hodge. My grandmother passed away 3 weeks ago. Can you tell me if my mom was there to greet her? Oh, that's a beautiful question.
Yes, I hear yes immediately, and it wasn't just your mom.
Yeah. It was like a
There's a
whole
whole
branch of the
tribe. Like,
family.
damn.
Oh,
Like, I don't want to call it a stadium full, but I will
yeah.
just say the space was full of people ready to receive her.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Um, Fawn, Fawn is ours, from our inner circle. She says, she's asking, will renter's insurance pay for Heather's moving expenses? A tree crushed her attic.
Will renter's insurance pay for Heather's moving expenses? I see yes.
Yep. Okay. We did that question already. Okay. Yanni Girly. Girly, yes. Hi, guys. Do you see any messages from my dad? That's the question. Yeah, my dad or my spirit guides, but it's really dad. They stop me. They're like, it's dad. That's who she
It's
wants to
that
know.
he's kind of barking at me like, uh, progression, move forward. Hmm. I don't know if you're what your dad's demeanor was in life, but here on the other side, he isn't playing. Um,
Yeah.
he wants you to keep pressing forward. Is the main message I'm getting, and he's pushing and pushing and pushing. Um, Something about getting out of that space, getting out of that space, getting out of that space, and that could be a physical space or it could be an energetic space. It's more energetic. I'm hearing it's energy. So pushing you to get out of the energetic space that you're in.
I am answering a question with a funny response, not being funny. Mark Hill asks, who will be president? If you want to know, hop into our private events. We're not getting into that whole dicey nonsense right here. I'll be frank though, you probably won't like my answer.
Hmm.
There, I said it. Nobody liked my answer the last time, but my answer was right. So it is what it is. Again, all we are is the reflection of what we're currently manifesting. So it can, and in this cycle, in particular, this election cycle, I'm willing to bet whatever we see today could shift tomorrow. What we
Mm-hmm.
see tomorrow could shift next week because we're in
Mm-hmm.
we're in turbulent times and things are a little different from anything we've ever done for. Um, okay. Samantha Taylor, this is a great question. Why is my ex-boyfriend keep coming back? Because it's that time of year. There's 7 planets retrograde. So every ex-boyfriend you've ever had, probably in
Return,
perpetuity,
return, return.
even the dude you dated when you were 4 years old in pre-K and you just held his hand and you don't even know his name anymore. He's gonna call. They're all gonna call. Hey, I was just thinking about you. No,
Mm-hmm.
you're really processing some stuff, and that's what made you
Mm-hmm.
think about me. And it's okay. We've been asked several times, are they all calling for what they're really calling for is the review. Everybody you notice in our nation right now, everything is up for review. We're talking about the feminism. We're talking about the racism. We're talking about all the isms. We're talking about everything that made us into this thing that we are, America, right? And we're going back and we're reviewing it. This is going to go on for several months, folks. Get used to this notion, please, because this is the energy that is being provided for us, and it is for a reason. If we want to go to the age of Aquarius, we're going to have to deal with how we got to this point. Okay, it doesn't have to be painful, it doesn't have to last forever, but our inability to simply go, what's happening here, is the reason why we're still stalling out, so to speak. So relating that to your personal life, Samantha, and only because this question has come up a lot, like, why is my ex-boyfriend calling, or ex-girlfriend? Just so you understand, every single person that shows up is an opportunity to clear something out for you
Mhm.
from yesteryear, or when you were younger, or, childhood type things. It does not necessarily mean that every person who shows up, you have to explore the possibility of getting back together. Some of these folks will show you immediately they are the same person they were the day you parted. Okay. So I'm not suggesting that every person that comes in, you're like, woo, let's see. You don't have to do
No,
that to
bruh.
yourself.
Mm-mm.
But what you can do is have the conversation, or at least connect enough to listen, reflect, and do so with an open mind. And you may learn a lot about you in the process. That's why everybody's showing back up. It's all about retrogrades, are all about review, returning to sender. Okay. And sometimes it's just about that. The ex-boyfriends that show up, it's like, oh, you're still nuts.
Yes.
Okay. And now I know I can
Reminder.
leave you. Yep.
Yes.
There you
I can
go.
clear out
Sometimes
this
you need
energy.
that. You're
Hmm.
like, oh, I want to be with someone. Him, them shows up from 1982, and you're like, oh, but he's stupid. Or worse yet, oh, he has no soul. Like, no, I don't want that. Because this is part of what the universe is trying to show you, where you are currently, and what have you learned? What have you learned about you? We're all about to get very well versed in the self, ladies and gents.
Hmm.
All right. All right. All right. Do, 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 do. I've got what is that dude's name? Alan Thicke's son, Robin Thicke. I don't know how I
Robin.
got a whole anthology of songs going in my head right now from Robin Thicke. I don't really know why. Anywho, you're welcome, Keely, because I'm like, when people ask the questions, you have to understand this is just again an education, because Rob and I are going to be doing this pretty consistently. When you ask questions in the feed, like, did you see my question? The amount of time it would take me, and the brain power it would take me to come out of trance,
Hmm.
go down into the feed, find the question. If you ain't sure if it got answered, just repost it again. Trust me, it's easier. And we get to them, like I said, we get to them in order. Every once in a while, if I think a question is going to take us down either a very dark path, and or if it's super, super personal, the answer, I will often tell people that, like, no, we're just not going to go there in the feed. Believe it or not, the boyfriend, girlfriend, marriage thing, not so personal. We're all experiencing it on some level, right? So
Hmm.
that's what, and people get an education from that. So unless it's something deeply, where I'm, violating like your medical or that kind of thing, if that's the case, I'll let you know and go, yeah, I'm not answering this here for a reason. Doesn't happen often, all the time. David Weaver, have you seen the face wearing a mask on the? I'm gonna need you to elaborate on that, please.
Do I
Please
know?
give me more information. I definitely want to. I know, but I want to know. So tell me a little bit more about that, if you please and thanks. Um, Janelle Hayes says, my ancestors' energies are extremely heavy recently. What messages do they have for me? I'm going to address this on the global scale while I let Rob come in right after and give you the actual messages. That's because they're closer than they've ever been to our planet. With that in mind, the energy feels heavier. It just feels more potent because they are very, very omnipresent all the time. I get calls all the time about people seeing shadows in their room. It feels like a bus stop in my house. All these people are walking through. You remember the
Hmm.
scene in Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg when she finally, is like, okay, I have the gift. It's fully ensconced in her. She's clearly a medium. And then she's in her room and there's like 40 people in the room, all
Hmm.
ghosts. That's all of us right now. The closer you get to this ability, it's all coming in, folks. It is all coming in, and that's intentional. And if you already have some ability, you've ever done any work on your third eye, or if you're a regular meditator, your house is a bus stop. It's not a bad thing, believe it or not. There's a lot more of them than there are of us. They are here to help us transition through this phase. Again, this is one of the most important times in human history. Of course, grandma's back. Grandma wants to make sure we get this right, folks. Grandma wants to
Mhm.
make sure we transcend, okay? That's why all your passed on loved ones are coming in so loudly right now. Again, if you don't know what to do with that, or you're not sure how to connect, or you don't know if it's safe or not, this is where the 33 days to intuition is going to serve you exponentially. 99.9% of the time, you already have the intuition. It's really just about getting familiar, being in a container that allows you to go, oh, that is normal. Okay. I'm not crazy. And there's a whole group of people in here with me that clearly, if I'm crazy, then you're all crazy, right? Like we'd all have to be nuts simultaneously. Don't get me wrong. I that it could be that too, but I don't. There's too many of us validating and verifying for one another that this is a very real thing. Michael Carter wants to know, hi, how soon do you see me with new employment, and will it be in Los Angeles? Great question.
So what I see coming in this February, will it be in Los Angeles? I see a yes for Los Angeles.
Okay. Okay. Yes, Tara, that happens. Too vague. What happens when the question is really vague is this, and in most of my experience, this happens all the time. People ask a vague question, we give you the answer that the ether, that spirit provides for us, and immediately you go, yeah, but I really wanted to know about so and so, or save us the trouble, because all of this I know this looks easy because we're sitting here and we're just talking and keying it up. Everything we're doing requires energy. Let me be abundantly clear on that part. Everything. And PS, for those of you who are used to hopping in everyone's feed, and I know there's a few of y'all, this tarot reader's on. Let me go ask some questions. Understand, every time somebody provides you with an answer, that's an energetic exchange. They are giving you an energy, and that is a spent energy. So I want you to understand that part of the process. So when you're in here and you're asking questions, we're giving you a great deal more energy than it appears on surface. I know with the hair and Rob with the beads, and we just look like that. It just looks so easy. And it is because we practice at it a lot. But please know, when we get off here, one of us is probably gonna need a nap and the other one's gonna
I'm
need
going to
like
go nap.
caffeine. Yeah,
Gonna
I'm
go
going
nap.
to get coffee for sure. So just know that is often how this works. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Again, CL, you're so very welcome. You are very welcome. Andre, I don't know why I know you posted a question. There it is. I'm like, I see it, but I don't see it. Okay. Andre Lee Wills wants to know, my question is, I met a new guy named Sean. Do the prospects look good?
Yes.
Yay, Andre, yay. You
Congratulations.
two are definitely going to have to meet at some point. Andre's an earlier graduate from our circle as well. I want to say in the same timing as maybe Nelda Bailey, who I also saw in the feed a minute ago. Okay. All right. Let's move this along and see who have we that. Oh, you're welcome, Fawn. Excellent. All right. Glad to know that was helpful information. Hang on a second. Bonita wants to know, how will my finances be in the coming months? And did my granddad come to me last week? I'm going to go ahead and answer the last one with a yes.
Mm-hmm.
Really, Bonita? You know the answer to that. Just
Yeah.
stop right now. And I'll let you take the first one.
Okay. So what I'm seeing in your finances, I saw your question not too long ago, and I already got the image. It's a lull right now, but then there's an uptick that occurs, and then within the next few months, towards the end of the next few months. So really looking at is it January, February, end of January, 1st of February. There's going to be an uptick that occurs for you.
It's a coming out party, because you're about to start coming out as a healer. It's because you're in the container, because you are in the container already. And I see two marker points. There's November, right after this process is over, and then there's another marker point in January. So I'm seeing exactly what Rob is seeing. I'm just seeing kind of the underpinnings of why. And there's like two distinct loops. Like Now through November,
Mhm.
there's a huge development surge. And then I feel like there's another piece of this, probably you just moving into the next wave, whether it's channeling, mediumship, might just be healing, whatever it is. I see that next wave and that leaves into January. And I see you're offering it. You're already putting it out there. So you're going to be a fast learner. Not surprised you've had a good foundation for that. All right. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Tamra Manson wants to know, will the man I dated for 2 years come back around?
I see a yes, but now you have to get clear about whether or not that relationship is going to suit you. And are you still in that same space energetically? So now that we're in the space of reviewing, yeah, that's going to come up for review too. So
Yeah, I get immediately. Yeah, they're coming back around, but does it serve you? They keep saying over, does that serve you? Does that serve you? So that's your ultimate question for you. Does this actually serve me? I get a no, by the
no,
way.
I got
Um,
no. I saw
yeah.
no immediately.
So this is
So
going to require you being honest with yourself versus what happens a lot with women in particular. When a man shows up, we instantaneously go into, yes, but he's here. It doesn't matter if he smells bad. It doesn't matter if he's throwing oranges at you. That is not always the answer, my love. Sometimes the showing up is simply a test. And what they're saying to me is you don't have to accept it just because they're available if that's not in line with how you really feel. Okay? Okay. Tara, yeah, just quick, just clear on the question, honey, so we can give you the best possible answer and the really direct one. Um, oh, Andre, you're so welcome. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. Bianca Lynn wants to know, is she going to get pregnant
yes,
pregnant again? Huh? I
yes.
actually said that before. I saw this question way back. Okay.
Hmm.
Well, there you go, Bianca. Somebody's having, boy, we are baby producing up in here. No,
Yes.
that don't come nowhere near me until I got a husband. Don't play with me, y'all. No. Plus, we already got new invented kids around here anyway. Am I complaining? Show is. That's right. I said it. Oh, okay. So Cassietta is reminding us again. She said, Patrick, post it again really quick, and I will do my best to answer it right now. Cassietta said, yes, she does. I don't remember why we asked. This is what happens when you're in trance. Like, I can't go back in my brain to the actual details of what is it. And Keely, yeah, it's possible that you missed. That happens sometimes when we're on here for an hour, and right now we've been on for almost an hour and a half. I can't tell you where in the feed. That's a brain function. So all of that has to be found after the fact. This is where you guys are all helpful to one another. If you know somebody's question got answered and it's one of your people or it's your friend, because a lot of time people share this with their friends and say, hey, I heard your question got answered at, whatever minute in time. Do we know that? No, because we're in trance. So let me give you a little piece of education. You will love me for this, and hopefully it will help you in your journey in the coming 5 to 6 months. When you are in the channel space, the psychic space, the mediumship space, that's a non-brain function. Here's what I mean. Go back and look up Dr. Oz episodes where Teresa Caputo was on Dr. Oz, and Dr. Oz had the little brain nodes on her head, which was measuring her electromagnetic activity in the mind. Here's what we know for sure. When you are channeling or in the psychic space, your brain actually goes dormant. In other words, silence, quiet. This is why meditation gets you to the actual third eye, the opening of the pineal gland, because the meditation is what quiets the mind. When the quieting of the mind happens, all the other voices and information can come in freely. Your brain is what gets in the way of that. So where I'm going with all that is this: when we're on here, we're not in our brains. So all this tech stuff, although I know I make this look easy, I guarantee you being between these two spaces is work. And when I say, anytime somebody comes out of my classroom, they're like, the first time they do this, they're like, oh my God, this is intense. I'm like, yes, it is, because you're going back and forth. It's like turning on and off a light switch. We're going back and forth between channel for the answer and brain for the information that we have to answer in the first place. You get where I'm going with that? So super important to the actual process. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Geo, okay. Geo Giovanni says, how do I thank my angels for their help? So
He
they
just did.
already know, you just
He
did.
just did. He
And
just did.
by operating from a space of gratitude, that's all it takes. They
I do
already
a
know
lot of
how
this.
grateful and thankful you are.
I
They
do a
love
lot
you.
of this all day. Yeah, I go, man, good looking out. almost like I'm talking to somebody on the basketball court. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, good looking out. They know, and they know my sentiment and my sarcasm and my rhythm and my language. It doesn't have to be, and we get very into this, caught up in this in the holistic industry. It has to be love and light. It has to be exactly these words. You have to say exactly this to honor this angel.
Yeah, no.
Child, throw all that shit out with the baby. Throw it all out. That's ridiculous. Number one, this is almost like people telling you how to get to God, when realistically the answer to all of it is very simple. It's the meditative space. So let your mind get quiet and say, Ashe, thank you, good looking out for we I can't thank you enough for whatever it was you threw at me or provided for me or the direction that you gave me. They hear you all the time. And I don't mean like you're talking to a cloud way up there. No, I mean your angels, your
Right
past on
here.
loved ones. When I say you are rocking with an army, because I used to say that about myself all the time, we're all rocking with an army now, folks. It's your job to get to know that army that is working for you and with you to help you transcend. They want nothing else right now, folks. They want nothing else from you, nothing else for you. Okay, give me one second. Let me see if I see. Patrick, did you?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So Patrick is also part of our local community. I met him a long, long time ago. I think at Forever and a Day. I'm talking probably a decade ago. I'm thinking. Anyway, he wants to know what's up with his new career and new relationship. Are these things that actually exist, Patrick? What's up with my new career and relationship? Can you get more specific than that for us so we can answer fast and then rush up? Oh, Luberta, do me a favor. Please post your link information for Positive Vibes Candle. That way, that's what, because I got a bunch of things I have to link after. And since you're here, go ahead and throw that one in there for me. This is where I have all of my spiritual tools that I currently have. Literally, like everything in my house comes from Luberta's company. She is much of what we do with our clients now. The work that I do with my clients, we give them, we give them recommendations for all kinds of products from her. She makes the most scintillating candles I have ever had my little happy hands on, and candles make me really, really happy.
That just says not new.
I
Okay,
still don't see a
so
new question. Oh, so what's up with your career and your relationship is what you're asking. Okay, got it. All right.
Patrick's career. Ooh, okay. So for your career, I'm seeing a shift. Like this is what I see a lot of times with career questions. There is a path, but it's curving to the left, so there's going to be an adjustment that's made in terms of your career. I'm going to ask us this new. It's new, so there's something new that's coming in for you in terms of your career, and you want to know about a new relationship. I'm hearing yes when you get serious about it. So with that, both um, the career, definitely something new coming in, and I'm hearing easier on your mind and your body,
Mm.
which is, and also I'm hearing like a cash register, like cha-ching. So there's money, more money involved in this path that you're going into as well. And then the relationship, yeah, when you get serious about it. So they're kind of being funny with that, but not so much. It's really about when do you want it and how do you want it.
Hmm. So, all right. There's a lot of folks in here talking just about the Positive Vibes candles. Again, Luberta, if you're still in here, post your link. Because they are definitely talking about, oh, Cassietta. You must, honey, you definitely intuitive already. Look at you, girl. That was going to be my first recommendation on first day. Here are the things that you will want in order to move. Now, if you go get a journal and a really good pen, you're ready to go. Hello. Hello, hello. All right. She's already posted it in here. I see it. Hang on, hang on. Oh, I just moved myself out of my hole. There we go. Okay. All right. And I'll make sure that I repost it along with the pin post that I do right after we're done. All right, ladies and gents, we are going to conclude since we have been on here for a solid. Oh, wow. That thing just reset altogether. That's weird. We've been on here for maybe it stops at 90 minutes and then just resets itself. That was odd. Anywho, we've been on for more than an hour and a half, folks, and answered lots of questions. I will give you lots of opportunities to do the same in our private circles throughout the end of the month. from the channel circle to the psychic circle, the gallery reading psychic circle, and also the new moon ceremony tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, right after we are done, I will post the links for all of these things. Also, I will post the links. So I did see at least 2 people ask about readings with Rob. We will post those links as well. And I will post a link for my 33 Days to Intuition container should you want to get as intuitive as Rob or more. The sky's the limit, folks. All right, ladies and gents, have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for sharing this out and letting people know. For those that we missed, you will see me in the feed answering questions after the fact, especially if it's somebody that we just missed altogether. If it's a repeat question, you will not expect me to do that, and I won't likely be doing it. But you'll definitely see lots of feedback from me in the coming moments. So stay tuned in the feed. You'll see lots of things popping up. All right, everybody. Thank you, Rob, again for blessing everyone with your intuitive gifts, with your mediumship in particular. It is always a real gift when people get to connect with their passed on loved ones, and it takes extraordinary energy to bring those individuals in. So thank you for that. Thank you for everyone for that. All right, folks. It's Thursday afternoon. There are 2 more days to get into this container with me. 33 Days to Intuition. It starts on September 21st on 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 the fall solstice, and it ends on Halloween, which is a full moon. Because I like to make a statement sometimes. So we just going all the way in, folks. That's right, straight down the rabbit hole. All right, folks, be good. Have a wonderful evening. We will talk soon. Take care of yourself. Love to all of you. Bye. Bye. Bye.